OCN, Open Door Communication Network. Our frequency. Watch us on live stream 24 hours. OCN, giving the voice of the Lord.
Live from Los Angeles, it's Messages with Pete Allman, with special guest celebrities, sports personalities, entertainers, health experts, and people just like you, uplifting the word of the Lord. Now, your host, Pete Allman. And welcome to the show, my friends. Welcome to Messages with Pete Allman. Today, I want you to lift your hearts up. I want you to step out in faith and know that God is there to guide you. He guides you along the way, any which way that you go. God is there watching over you. I want you to remember those things. Today, we're going to talk about family values, and we're going to talk about the Family Film Awards, created by the founder, Dr. Antonio Gelini. That's right. It's a great show. It was a great idea because we need more family values in our society. And because of the Family Film Awards, and of course Dick Clark, who in 1996 produces with Dr. Gelini, because of that, President Clinton came into the fold, if you will, and created a law that would say each studio must produce 3 family films a year. That's what we need, especially today in our society when actually, we're in a very broken society right now, and we need God more than ever. We need the Spirit of God in each and every one of us to have peace within ourselves. And with peace within ourselves, we can have more of a harmonious society, if you will. So we want to just pray that each one of us are able to be disciples of God and spread the good news that God is alive and that His Spirit lives in each and every one of us. Now, our guest today is a young lady that's an entrepreneur. Now, what is an entrepreneur? Well, someone that does a lot of different things. She's an actress. She's a ballroom dancer. She was in the web designing business for many years, and she's here today. And her name is Crystal Huang, and she'll be with us in a moment. So in the meantime, don't touch the dial. Don't do anything, but wait for these messages from our sponsor, Sober Recovery. We'll return after this.
OCN, Open Door Communication Network. Our frequency. Watch us on live stream 24 hours. OCN, giving the voice of the Lord.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, right here, Messages with Pete Allman. My guest today, as I mentioned to you before we went to commercial break, she's a model. She's an actress. She is a ballroom dancer, and she was in the web designing business, the technical aspects of what social networking is all about. Her name is Crystal Huang. Crystal, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Crystal Huang, and thank you, Peter, to have me on this wonderful program.
Well, you're welcome. On this show, we talk about how we overcome obstacles. We talk about how we achieve peace. And certainly the Chinese community knows all about that, because 4 months ago, I believe it was, I was in China, Beijing and some other towns, and the children were so well behaved, and there were no homeless problems there, and it's busier than ever, and I saw that they built a high-rise in 6 months, a bridge in a day. How has that helped you in your life as an Asian to want to be successful in the things that you do? First it was the technical end of web designing, and then from there you were a ballroom dancer, now you're an actress. But tell us, what is it that allowed you to be successful, to become successful, and not let the negative part of life affect you?
I think the most important thing is like you need to achieve peace and overcome the obstacles. When I played a character, I work with different professionals, and I rehearse them as much as possible and make it better and better. If it works, that's great. If not, I just see it as my learning experience. I have nothing to complain about. I think the quality of life depends on your attitude.
In other words, if you have a good attitude, then you'll go through life with a good attitude and things will happen in a proper manner?
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting. How did you make the change from being a webmaster, and and you got awards for that too, I understand, to going into ballroom dancing? Let's go from that direction.
Mm-hmm. It's not like exactly a transfer from ballroom to acting, because I have always loved the arts, and dancing just one form of it. But right now, I think my real strength is acting. So that's the reason, I'm here in Los Angeles and to pursue my dream.
Recently, we were in an award show, and you helped host that, for Dr. Antonio Giulini. Actually, it's Dr. Antonio Olympia Giulini, the full name. And he was the founder of this award show here, which is called the Family Film Awards. This is a program that my manager, Rachel Huang, put together for the dinner for the show, and this is a picture of Dr. Giulini, who for some reason wasn't able to be with us today. Not sure what happened, but so forth. But this is the book. And family films, it's an interesting thing, because if it wasn't for President Clinton and Dr. Giulini, and of course Jack Valenti and President Clinton, all of them contributed to have family films, our society would be much worse. What are your thoughts about that? Filmmaking, and is the filmmaker responsible for producing films that are family content, or is the parent responsible for what their children watch? What is your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, the Family Film Festival is such a wonderful event. All the films and the television shows selected from this 23rd Family Film Awards all have one theme, which is world peace and family harmony. So home, just like a warm harbor, loving children, loving parents, loving family. The family values has always become the core foundation for the success as a person and also society. I'm very glad that I involved in this special event. And it's not very often you can meet so many actors and actresses at dinner table every day. And the most important, it's a very great occasion to advocate for family values, which is very meaningful to me too.
Yes, it is. And you have a daughter that's in the business. She's an editor and a producer and has a film project she's working on. And I understand she has another short film that she got awards from.
Yeah, the Cupid Paradise, which she already won like 8 awards, all over the world.
Well, that is absolutely great. This is a show that inspires people, the people that are watching, and at the same time to people that are lost or people they may have the wrong direction in life, and we get caught up in everyday life. When I say caught up, you know, you got a job, you want the promotion, you want that new car, you want the bigger house, you want better things. By nature, we're selfish people. And so, in balancing that, when we find out that all these things we can accumulate doesn't make us happy, we end up taking things that are not good for our health. And that's been proven in the entertainment business, meaning drugs, meaning liquor. But when you have God in your life, and He's in your soul, and you feel the Holy Spirit, your life changes, and you want to do that which is going to make Him happy. Now, in China, they do have a Christian movement underneath the government, but the basic religion in China, I understand, is Buddhism. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I'm one not to judge anything because I'm just a human being that's a disciple of God. But it seems to me we could learn some values from China and what they do, since they don't have any trouble with shootings and gun violence. They don't have homelessness. The streets are great. They're clean, and they're doing so much business over there. So from your point of view, and since we talk about how overcoming obstacles is important for each one of us and how you achieve peace, what are your thoughts about how China has developed as a country, and how the United States and China can come together? And that's what Rachel Huang wants to do, bring them together in the arts and in the film industry, and for us to have a cohesive relationship. And that's what President Trump wants too. He wants to have a relationship that's going to be good, it's going to be profitable for both countries. Your thoughts?
Well, I think actually the family values between USA and China is a little bit different. In China, when young people, they always need to obey the older people, always need to obey the parents. So they do not have much freedom to pursue their dream. But in the United States, I think people respect each other, and also the children have more freedom to follow their passion, to do whatever they want to do. I think we should, this is pretty good.
So what you're saying then, being in America, gives you the freedom to express yourself because you live in a democracy, so you have the freedom to do more of what you want to do.
Yes.
But as we progress in many ways, as we have, we also have digressions with our drug problem that we have in this country, where more drugs are used here than all countries put together. And we have to look at that. So I think that this is a day and age where we need God in our lives.
Right.
The Bible talks about God made us in His image. So we know that God is real, and that Jesus Christ, of course, was His Son, and He paid the price. He paid the price so that we could be here today. No matter how you look at it or you try to analyze it, it's beyond our comprehension. But the bottom line is, we know that God is there for us. And with that thought of having God with us and having Jesus Christ in our life, we can live a more productive life and a more peaceful life. And that's what we need to do throughout society, so that we no longer have wars, because we cannot afford to have wars because of the nuclear weapons that have been developed. We don't need that. So there has to be another path as far as economic wealth goes for each country with wars. That's not going to happen. Let's get back to your situation. I said you were as a web designer, and that means you design businesses, and business now is done on the internet. And so it could be a clothing company, it could be an attorney company that has, it has virtual reality within the concept of their website. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Before I was doing a lot of front end, a lot of back end, and also I'm a Microsoft certified solution developer, and I work for the Lincoln Financial Group and also CDW to design their front end, also the back end. Yeah.
What does that require?
First of all, you need to have a very clear mind, especially like business. You need to know the business first. You need to know what your customer needs and wants. I think this is the most important thing. Then you can follow the requirement, to follow the rules and then finish the project.
So from there, you went into ballroom dancing. Now, ballroom dancing is part of that passion that you have as being an actress. And actually, I always thought that a model would be an actress because you have to walk a certain way, you have to portray a certain image, if you will. So let us talk a little bit about what awards have you received as a ballroom dancer. And I'm sorry we don't have any footage to show right now, but that'll be in the future.
I got the Motor Dance first prize in 2014 IGB Ballroom Dancing San Francisco. Yeah.
And ballroom dancing, what does it encompass? How many different dances does ballroom?
They have 10. The ballroom dance have 10 dances. Have waltz, tango, foxtrot.
Foxtrot?
Yeah, foxtrot, 4-step. Yeah.
It's interesting because James Brown, the godfather of soul, who is no longer with us, he taught me a little dance.
Oh, really?
If you recall, his dance steps were used by Michael Jackson, and he was a dear friend of mine. And I'm sure he's in heaven now, but I miss him tremendously.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, I'm usually very serious about the things I have passion for. No matter it is hobby, doing ballroom or photography or professional like acting, I treated them equally. And I studied online and attended different acting school, go to auditions one by one, and meet different people in the industry. I really think as long as you keep doing what you really enjoy, with some luck and talent, you can make it.
Let us talk a little bit about acting and how there are a lot of Christians that are actors that do faith-based films, but also other types of films. And I always thought that if you're an actor, you put yourself in that character, whatever that character might be. If you're a bank president, you know how a bank president acts, you become that character. Or if you're an FBI agent or a doctor. So what have you learned now that you've gone into acting and you've done a lot of short films and whatnot? What was the most important thing that allowed you to become the character that you were playing the role for?
First of all, I think you need to really go deep into the script. You need to read the script a couple of times, so then you will know, what kind of character you are playing. You will know what he or she really is underlying the things, behind it. I think to be an acting actor is not an easy thing. You need to practice a lot of time, rehearsal a lot of time, until finally you think you are satisfied.
Okay. As I have this book up here, which was a program for the American Film Awards, which was on the 29th of September, one of my most memorable moments was seeing Marla Gibbs receive the Lifetime Achievement Award. And Marla Gibbs, Norman Lear got her started in the business, and I forget the name of the show that she was on, but she's been on a lot of shows.
Yeah, I think she is a screenwriter, and also she is a singer. She has done so many things, and also she has been in the industry for over 50 years. Yeah. She
has. And so I think that as we talk here and we give our message out to the world, for that matter, we talk about family values. It's very important. And I want to mention that, as you know, I have a documentary that is about man's quest to achieve peace. And it encompasses a symphonic tribute to the human spirit, if you will, but at the same time, it's an educational piece, which you saw.
You're right.
Which educates people about the importance of family values, the importance of having God in your life, the importance of learning to get along with each other despite our differences. And so when I look at your country, China, and Japan, and I see that there's, with the exception of Hong Kong, that I see that there's a lot of peace there. Some people say you achieve peace by meditating, other people work out, and of course my peace comes from having a relationship with Jesus Christ. But there are people that are in our society that are under a lot of stress. So these things that I talk about, which is exercising, meditation, even yoga, are important to diffuse one's anger. Mm-hmm. And so how do you keep your peace among you in the world that we live in, and it's such a hard business now that you're in the film business?
Well, people sometimes ask me how many times you express your anger. You know, I usually hold my temper. You know, most of the time. You know, you can seldom see me express my temper. That's like what you said. You know, meditation, to do the yoga, and listen to the music, or the very many different things can control your temper. I think that's a lot of things you can learn too.
Good. Well, here we are, Messages with Pete Allman. We're talking to Crystal Huang, an actress, ballroom dancer, was in the web designing business, and we'll return after these messages from Soba Recovery.
Have drugs or alcohol taken you away from being the parent you once were? Have you stopped spending the quality time with your children that they deserve? They only get one childhood, and you're missing it. Your kids are waiting for you. Pick up the phone and call Sober Recovery today at 866-290-1166. Freedom awaits.
And we're back on Messages with Pete Allman. My guest today is Crystal Huang. And for those of you that may just be tuning in, wherever you might be, you can always see our show at ocn-tv.com. Go to Facebook, we're on Facebook, or go to my Facebook, Pete Allman. And at the same time, don't forget that we exist here, our network exists, for your donations. And all you have to do is go to www.facebook.com or OCN TV to get the Facebook site. The phone number to call if you'd like to donate to our mission of promoting and helping the homeless and promoting what we do here at All Nations Church, which is behind the network, which is OCN Bishop Ogamba. You can call this number. It's 323-638-2710. That's 323-638-2710. And make your donations to All Nations Church, if you will. Thank you very much on that. So, Crystal, what are your thoughts now that that you're in America? You've been here for a while now, but now you're in Hollywood. It's a completely different situation than it is in San Francisco, where you also have residence, as I understand it. What are your thoughts about Hollywood and about the business of acting and the film business that we're in?
Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to come to Hollywood, all over the world, from all over the world. All the actors knows Hollywood is the best place to be if you want to be successful. So it is totally different, comparing to San Francisco or China. Here has more culture. I feel very warm to be here too. I feel has a lot of opportunity, here for me to go inside, to go into. So I'm very happy to be here, and also I have a great time talking with you, Peter, today.
God is with us today. He's with us every day. Mm-hmm. Have you felt the Holy Spirit yet within you? Not yet, huh?
No, not yet.
It's amazing because folks, I was a backslider for many years. I went back and forth. I've been baptized 4 or 5 times, I always liked the fact that you go under the water, you're dead to sin, and then you come out of the water and you're alive in Christ, you know. Identify with that. But just the fact that you out there watching television today, just by taking yourself and saying, look it, I don't know what this is all about, Lord, but I wish you would come into my life. And I want my life to be better. I want to be away from the drugs. I want to be away from the things that are bad, or the alcoholism, or I want my marriage to be better, Lord. Please come into my life. Guide me. Guide me to do things that will make you happy and that will add to my life. And when you step out in faith and you ask God to come into your life, he will come into your life. And I've said this time out and time again, Crystal, that a radio, we know that radio works. We see it working. Mm-hmm. But we don't see the electricity. And so you may not see God, except those people that may saw him when they died and came back to life, as they say, you know, on an operating table, and I've had some of those on the show. But when you decide to step out in faith, then something happens inside you, and you can feel the Holy Spirit. And it's happened to me, so that's why I'm telling you. And it's a wonderful feeling. It brings joy, it brings tears. And I think that that's an important situation. But for you to get closer to God then, and I'm guilty of this, is to read the Bible every day, which I need to start doing, to bring you closer to God, to make that important step so that you understand better the history of the Bible, the history of what Jesus went through and his disciples, so that we can have a better life and a more harmonious life. So as I speak, and I don't know quite how much more time we have, I guess I'll hear it. We have 2 minutes left. Okay, thank you, Jack. I want to say to everybody, and I want to thank you for being on the show, Crystal. I want to say to everybody out there that you can do all things through Christ, and there's no weapons formed against you that shall prosper when you have Christ in your life. And you always say to yourself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's the very truth. And Crystal, as we leave, we got about 30 seconds. What's the last movie you did, or the short film that you did?
The last movie I did is called Lao Lao. It's talking about the cultural conflicts between China and America.
Excellent. Where can they see that? Or where,
actually, that film just got the first prize in Chinese, the most prestigious newspaper, China Renmin newspaper, got the first prize.
when can they see it? Where can they go? What website?
I think probably in the next month or
Can they go on the internet to see it too, or YouTube?
Yeah,
I'm not.
I need to talk to the director. I need to make the decision.
Because I like the people to see that.
Sure.
Well, folks, thank you for watching the show right here at Messages with Pete Allman. Know that no matter where you go in life, God is there to guide you, and Jesus Christ is his Son, to make you feel at peace and to give you the joy that you can express each and every day of your life. So as I always say, keep your visions positive, keep positive people around you, and know that God is there to guide you. Bye for now. See you next time. Thanks for watching Messages with Pete Allman, uplifting the word of the Lord. Until next week, keep your visions positive in the Spirit of the Lord.
OCN, Open Door Communication Network. Our frequency. Watch us on live stream 24 hours. OCN, giving the voice of the Lord.